won't get away with this.
Who's going to stop us?
Ooh, wow, that was intense! Woo! I just flew in from the new ruins level, and boy, are my arms tired!
I hate this series. Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex is a video game of all time, and it sold around 5.5 million copies, which is really good. Except not good enough in the eyes of the publisher.
Well, the past few years have kind of been slow. Wrath of Cortex didn't do as well as we'd hoped, and... Fish?
But this video isn't about that. What this video is about is the reception this game currently has, and what I hear about it online. When I do hear people talk about this game, I always hear them talk about how it's buggy, it's broken, it's unfinished. But is this actually true? Absolutely, you could stop watching the video now. But is the game still good? Well, as a kid I loved this game. Does it still hold up now? Was my childhood enjoyment a lie? Did I experience a false sense of enjoyment because I was just a kid? I mean, I'm a kid, so I probably didn't even know how to count. But let's take a look ourselves, and I think the best way to do that is go through the entire game together, right here, right now. Pray for me. The game starts out with Cortex being incredibly depressed, and Uka Uka wants to blow up the planet and then rule the planet, which doesn't make much sense if you're trying to rule a planet that you just destroyed, but go off, I guess. I go more into this at the end of the video, so don't worry. Anyway, we gotta stop them, so we jump into a portal chamber which teleports us to various parts of the world so we can get crystals to stop them, just like the other two Bozo games before. We also get introduced to Crunch, which we'll see more later, definitely, and talk about more later.
You gotta be kidding. I'll exterminate this field rat in no time.
The hub world is basically the same as Crash 3. You gotta pick what level to go into, and then you gotta go into the level. Simple as. So let's start level 1.
What are you looking at, fuzzhead?
I skipped it. Oops. Welcome to the first level. If you haven't played a Crash game, well, what the hell is wrong with you? But other than that, the goal is to break all the boxes, get to the end of the level. I'd say this is a pretty good level. It teaches you the basics on how to play, and it teaches you what the boxes do and such like that. Like what the jump box does, what just hitting a normal box does, what the jumping on a box multiple times to get Wumpa fruits does, what Nitrous does. It's a lot, but the only issue is that it might be a little bit too much. Like, if you played a Crash game before, you obviously know what all this stuff is, but if this is your first one, which it might have been since the PS2 sold like a bajillion units, there's a lot to introduce to you. Like, in the last couple of games, it would be like one level, here's a couple of boxes, and then later levels on, it'll show you new boxes as time goes on. That doesn't really happen here. It kind of just showed you everything at the start. It also shows you the death levels, which is it's where you get to see the first signs of jank, in my opinion. You walk onto the death platforms, which are essentially just, if you don't die in the level, you gotta go onto them, and then you get put into a little bonus area where it's a harder version of the level, but if you get to the end of it, you get a gem. But let's look at the end of this level here. You have to do super precise jumps, but it's delayed with the button press. Like, it takes like a second after you push the button to do it, so they're like really, really difficult to do. What's worse is Crash feels very floaty and unresponsive at times. Like, it's not something that's like a nitpick. This is noticeably strange. But we get the gem, and there's one thing I do like about this game is that if you get the gem, you can just kill yourself, go back to the checkpoint, and you still have the gem, so you can get everything in the level, which is nice. I like that. I don't even know if that was intentional or not. Anyway, level complete, next level. What the hell is going on here? This is just a really loud and obnoxious plane level where you just have to shoot the, I don't even know what those are, silos down from the sky. And once you do that, you get the gem, or crystal. Honestly, that level wasn't too bad. Surely there won't be more of them. Now that's just not appropriate. Seriously, what is this? You're using like an XYZ axis ball. Like, could you not have made an actual, like, texture for the ball or something like that? Or did you just look at it and go, yeah, that's perfect? Either way, I actually don't mind this level. You kind of just roll around and get the boxes and then go on. I feel like there's a lot of dead ends in this level, which just lead you to nowhere. Other than that, it's fun to roll around and let the physics, albeit a bit weird, guide you through the level. And it has the same review as the last level for me. It was fun that one time, and it could be fun if we see it one more time. But surely that's the last time we see it, because if we constantly see it, I don't know if it'd be fun. Anyway, level done, bag the crystal, next level. Do my eyes deceive me, or is that a video game where you You jump on platforms. Either way, this is a really good level. I like the medieval theme. It also showcases 2D, which wasn't showcased in the first level, which is fine. It's not really much different. We also get a chase sequence, our first one with a dragon, which is pretty cool. I don't know what else much I can say. Good level, good theme, good music, good level. This game is doomed. Seriously, why are there so many vehicle levels? I wanted to play a platformer, not Mario Party. To me, this is basically just a ripoff of Donkey Kong 64, the minecart section. Did they just not have enough time to come up with a platforming level that they just made all these kind of just weird, okay vehicle Oh my goodness! The level's a pretty okay difficulty spike. It basically takes everything you know and puts it to the test, and it's pretty fair. My only complaint is that parts of this level are just so wide, you can just walk around half the stuff it throws at you. Level done. Off to our first boss. Are you scared yet? Extremely simple. Just keep hitting the balls. No, seriously, keep slapping them, and then he'll go down. Very threatening. I don't understand the point of this boss. Most bosses are supposed to be a test of what you've learned thus far, but you only learned how to be a ball in one level. That's not really enough. Maybe they just didn't have any ideas how to make an earth boss for walking around. Every time we beat a boss, we get a power up at the end. I will explain those at the end of the video, but just know that this one is the most worthless piece of garbage I have ever seen. Let's take a look at World 2.
Crash Bandicoot, you've got some nerve setting foot into my domain without an invitation. Don't talk back to me. I'll fix that attitude problem of yours.
We didn't even say anything. At last, we are on our feet again. The music is great here, but why is the monkey noise effect so loud? Overall, the stage is really good, and the rainforest theme is a great start for a supposed water-themed mask. And I like it. Problem is, again, the stage is just too wide at some points. I can just walk around the projectiles that these things, or whatever they are, throwing at me. And what is that I see in the distance? Something to perhaps ruin this level? And that it is. What the hell is this? Why do I have to push A to go faster here? Why is the camera angle a disaster? Why does this part even exist? Why am I still here? I've seen enough level 2. Oh no. I'm not that big of a fan of these levels. The controls are alright, but we've had so many levels already where we weren't platforming, and I don't know, I just kind of want to get on my feet at this point. You're probably not going to believe this, but this level gets worse. That's right. More not platforming into even more not platforming. The controls of this submarine are horrendous. Everything feels delayed, the weapon hitboxes are terrible, and now you have to deal with these red bombs coming off out of nowhere. You had to do that during the swimming section, but you were way faster. Now you're slow as hell, so there's no way in hell you can avoid them if you already didn't see it. And you're not going to see it because they're already halfway across the screen. Another issue is that this level is way too big. Like, you could go to the right in some parts, like a big open area, and there'll just be nothing there. The game is purposely wasting your time. Anyway, this level sucked.
Leave my levels alone.
Where did Crash go? In level 3, we get to play as Coco, who's a bit different than Crash, believe it or not. You don't really have any of Crash's abilities you can lock. You can spin, ground pound, and that's it. You also have this like crouching kick instead of slide. I don't know what the point of this is. You'd never use this. It's useless. I actually like this change of pace with Coco. It's great. It's a refreshing idea. I love it. This is also a long ass level, but at least it's good. I'm starting to have great hopes for this game. It's going to be so exciting to see what the hell is happening. What the fuck is going on? Why is it so fucking loud? Hold A to hit each ship 3 times. Level done. We're out of here. On to the next level. Holy moly. Are you joking? This is just another submarine level with the exact same issues as the first one we did, except it's probably even worse because they put even more mines everywhere that you can't see. Oh my god, a platformer. This level is actually really good and shows that the developers can make really good platformer levels. It has a really good difficulty spike too, like this level is somewhat challenging, though it does suffer from the same issues as the previous levels, like being too wide and such. I'll get into more detail as to why I think that is at the end of the video, but good level, good time. Except the submarine. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Time for the boss. Is the mask a JPEG? I'm kind of glad this is platforming Crash, because if it wasn't, I think I would make all marsupials go extinct. It's very simple. Just jump over and dodge his beams and then spin at him and you're good. I died a lot here for some reason. I don't know why. This isn't really hard. I'm just bad. Two things weird me out about this though. One, it feels like the platform's gonna sink when it doesn't actually do that. And why is the water mask shooting fire? At least I think that's fire. Anyway, get the power up. This is a really good power up. I love this. And next world.
I realize my brethren have had some trouble with you, my little orange friend, but I'm not quite sure why. Is it getting hot in here? Is it safe to be wearing that fur? It looks flammable!
I like this level. I like how it kind of looks like the fire's corrupting the place. Like there's fire in spots where I feel like fire shouldn't be, like this entire tower is on fire. I think that's really neat, considering this is the fire mask area. Some of these jumps make me go into the gamer pose. I really like it. It really feels like the game's getting harder over time. And there's no vehicle on this level too. How long has it been since it's just been only platformers? It also doesn't have that issue some of the other levels have, where it feels way too wide. This one, it's perfectly fine being as wide as it is. Great level, on to the next one. This isn't fire. Again, the themings for these levels are really good. It really makes you feel like you're in a Crash game, which is, like, I can't believe that I have to say that. It's unfortunate that we have a chase scene, but what can you do? It's expected at this point. My only complaint about this one is this part right here where you have 3 separate paths and one of them has a box. It doesn't tell you there's a box on this side, so if you decide to not choose this one path out of 3, you have to do the whole level again to get the box. That's obnoxious. Why would you do that? Anyway, whining over next level. We've actually been quite a roll on these platformer levels. Like, the last few levels have been fantastic. So let's keep it going. Total fucking horseshit. This is not even the worst level in the game. This is the worst level in the entire series. Or at least the ones I played. You can barely control the car. Anytime you even dare touch one of the other drivers, it feels like you just get punched in the face and you slow down. And what's worst of all, to get 100%, you have to use these garbage controls and hit every single box. If you miss one box, don't even go back to the start and try doing it, because that takes too much time. Just kill yourself. This took me 2 whole hours to do. Level's done, but I'm taking a break. Oh my god.
Hope you brought your sunscreen, cause you're gonna burn!
Huh. It's another rolling level. This level does have the thing I mentioned several times with the mask element interfering with the landscape. Like there's a bunch of fire all over the place. It looks like it's causing the ice to melt, which I think is pretty cool. However, it's absolutely random if the level will be themed to the mask or not, so I don't know if it matters. There's nothing much I can say here. It's just another roll level. They don't really do anything exciting with these. Just when you see one, it's another one. Level done, onto the next. Pain befalls me. It's a bit of getting used to, but it's not that bad. It's only for a little bit anyway. Because once you're through it, boom, platformer. And as per usual, the platformer level is pretty good. You get to see the insides of a Bandicoot, which is pretty cool. Good level. Next level. There are bosses in this game. It's just a 2-way chase sequence. He chases you and then you chase him. And the goal is to squirt on him. Yes, I did that on purpose. My only complaint is you can't really tell when you're actually shooting the water at him and when it's working or not. And when you shoot the water, you kind of move slower, so it's kind of weird. Take him down, get the power up, happy day. World 4.
The Crash Bandicoot, eh? Oh, I've heard so much about you, and this is the hero I have to blow away? Ha! Seems like a bunch of hot air to me.
Wasn't he talking to Crash? I have a bias for ice levels, because this one has a pass in my book. The platforming part's actually really good. But that's all the good thing I can say about this level. The vehicle part is probably the worst half vehicle part in the game. Snowboard half the time rejects your controls, and the camera angles are weird. It's so hard to get all the boxes, but luckily the game gives you a break because the devs knew this part was terrible. The boxes die to the snow avalanche behind you, so you could just keep going down, mind your own business, and just ignore all the boxes. However, to get the gem, you have to get through all the flags, so you have to fight with the controls to actually do it. I'm about to lose my mind. Level's done. Why does he climb so goddamn slow? This is actually I think the only level where I don't like the platforming part, because there are parts where you're off just running around, but they're very minimal. The other times you're just climbing. And guess what? That's right, a new vehicle. This thing slows the game down to a snail's pace. To actually shoot stuff at a distance, you have to hold one of the buttons down and then aim. And it's very, very bad. Aim at the enemy and shoot them. This thing also feels clunky to play. If you're moving and jumping around, then it's like alright. But if you try and just jump at a standstill position, you can only go up. It just completely stops you and you just jump straight up. What is the point of that? I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this level. I mean, to be honest, even more honest, it's the first platforming level, though barely, that I also didn't like, which is pretty good. Next level.
Coco, Cortex has assembled an armada of space stations that are ready to strike the planet. Use the lasers on your ship to destroy them.
Next level. Are you fucking kidding me? Wait! This is an actual level. This of course has the same issues of the other ones where you can just walk around the enemies, but other than that, the platforming here is solid. This level does have the bars which slow everything down to a snail's pace, but the gray boxes on this level actually make it more reasonable because you could just zip through it by just running and jumping bar to bar. And it's not even, you're not even on the bars for that long in the first place compared to the last level that had these. I think this may be the only time I've used this power up. This is also one of the levels that has this box that makes you invisible and lets you walk through stuff, which is like, it lasts like 5 seconds. And if you like didn't have that, it would make a challenging thing to jump through the lasers. So I'm not even gonna put that in the review at the end. I just don't know why it's a thing. Anyway, good challenging level. I like it. Pretty solid. Next level. There are bosses in this game? I feel like this is where the rushed game part comes into play. I feel like this could be a good boss. This could be a good boss. I felt it. But there are some issues. One, why is it making this sound? It is so fucking loud, I'm gonna lose it. And after turning it down for you, it's also really hard to see his projectiles. Like, I'm getting hit there. Did you see that? Did you see me get hit there? I got hit there. Go back and watch it. I did get hit there. This could have been good if it wasn't rushed. Like, I feel like this could have been a pretty decent fight, but unfortunately that's not the case. And now it's because of the issues, it's just kind of okay. I mean, well, other than that, you get a fucking rocket launcher for winning. What is that goddamn sound? Also, what is the point of this red turtle moving us over to the other side? Like, why couldn't we just start on the other side? What is the point of this? This is just a waste of time. Other than that, I still like this level. I actually died here a couple times. It ramps up the difficulty because this is supposed to be the first level of the final world. It's supposed to show you, yes, this is harder. Put your skills to the test. I tell you, this is the final world, by the way. This is the first level of the final world. This level is also one of the few instances you actually have to use your power up to get over something. I love the theming for this level too. It's you slowly climbing up an erupting volcano that is surrounded by a lush forest. Like, that is like peak Crash right there. I honestly think this could be one of the best levels in the game, you know. If it didn't do this. My ears hurt, we're out of here. Yeehaw, motherfucker. I actually love how we're getting new themes. I know this isn't really a new theme, because we've seen it before, but with like non-platforming levels, but this is the first platforming level that is like the Wild West theme. And I like it. I like how we're still getting technically new things at the end here. There's new enemies and obstacles that we just haven't seen yet before, and we're still getting new stuff, and this is like the end of the game. This is honestly the longest level. If getting 100% crates in this game wasn't so easy, this would be probably one of the worst levels because of how long it is. But it's easy to get all the crates in this game. There's not really any that are hidden anywhere. So this level's really good, and I think this is actually my favorite level in the whole game. This level also has a little bit of everything, and it doesn't feel too long or annoying to do. Like, it has the cages that you climb on, or the bars that you climb on, and they're not that long, and they're kind of fun to do. You also have a small, like, vehicle section in the same level, and it's not annoying to do. I'm like, huh? Anyway, I love this level. This feels like a complete level. It just feels complete to me. Everything is here. And we, for once, proudly go on to the next level. And it's fucking ruined. Are you joking? Dog shit box placement, absolutely terrible backtracking in the level, and I don't even want to know what this shit on the ground is. I'm out of here. I want to like this level. I really, really do. But I just don't think I can. This is one of those levels where you're going to be doing everything really slowly. Like, you're going to be on the bars for a long time. You're going to be waiting for the platforms to flip over for a while. And guess what? You get the goddamn mech again. You know what's even better about this one? You get a chase sequence. And what's even better is that you're so big, you could barely see what's coming before it hits you. It does have some sections where you're 2Ds than a mech, but you're still just waiting for the platforms to flip with the mech. And the hitboxes on some of these enemies are so garbage because you're so big. Do what I've been doing and shoot them. Level done. Last level. No, it can't be. No! Huh. I guess it was a bad dream. This level's pretty good. I like the vibe of this level. I'm not sure why. I think it has something to do with the simple colors, like the bluish purple, which just looks amazing. This isn't the hardest level in the game, in my opinion, but it definitely still feels like it's a final level. And considering it's literally just platforming, this is a real certified crash level. Level done, and we can walk away proud. Maybe I shouldn't say that. At last, we're at the final boss. Them staring at each other down at the beginning is awesome. Man to man. That is the only positive I have. Like, really? He's just pushing buttons to use the mask? Couldn't he just, like, use the mask to attack you? Why does he have to push buttons? All you do is just let him push buttons, wait till he's tired, and then shoot him. And then for some reason, he just punches Cortex? I mean, get his ass, but what? You literally just do that like 3 or 4 times. It's not even that hard. I died like 5 times to the same thing. And then he's gone. And you get a power-up. Wow.
You ever let me win? What do you want from me, you cretin?
Cortex! You realize that Crash may have collected all the crystals, but he doesn't have the gems.
God fucking damn it. Now we're getting funky. That's right, you thought this was over? There's 5 more levels. And you need to do them to get the true ending. And they cost relics to get into. Which, you know what those are? You have to redo every single level and beat one of the time trials to get a relic. You have to do every level again. Fuck! I did it. I did them all. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is a good level, but I can't fairly review this because I'm playing on an emulator and it didn't load the level properly. Like, it's supposed to be super, super dark and you're supposed to light it up, but I didn't have that ability to do, so I am not reviewing this level. Fuck you. Special stage number 2. This is supposed to be a racing stage, as you can see from the countdown that just happened. But this is more like Donkey Kong 64, you know that part where you're one of the monkeys going left and right on the cart trying to grab stuff? Yeah, that's what you're doing. Ignore the race part. You will always win no matter what happens. So it's irrelevant. Like, I don't know what the point of that is. I'm honestly shocked I was able to get the gem on my first try on this, considering you have to go do every single path on the first try. Honestly, it's not really that bad. It's just kind of like they just kind of added it with no thought. Like, there's nothing really going on with this. Anyway, we won the race. Yeah, next one. If hell froze over, this would be it. What the fuck is this? You just have to get through all the boxes and rings, but this big ass polar bear keep blocking your way and you keep bouncing off of him. What an asshole. If you get past him, this is an incredibly easy level, but it's just so annoying. This would honestly be the worst level in the game if that damn car level didn't exist. Next. Are you joking? This actually takes place in space, believe it or not. It has the issues some of the later ball stages has, though, where it's kind of a lot of backtracking, and this stage has a unique, annoying thing to it where it's kind of just squares in a straight line. It's not really creative, but because of that, you can go really fast, which I kind of like, considering there's like no edges on this stage. I think I would like it more if there already weren't a lot of not platforming sections in the game, but you know, that's just how it is. Level done, on to the next level. I think this will be a masterpiece. A masterpiece of shit this is. It feels like you're just constantly looping in this level, seeing the same thing over and over again. It's not, it doesn't feel finished. The last level of the game, I was expecting more, not a subpar snowboarding level. This level is called Force of Nature, but I don't see no force of nature happening here. I am utterly disappointed, and my day is ruined. Back to the final boss. Nothing in the fight changes, but you do get a new ending. In this ending, you see Crunch was being mind controlled by Cortex, and the mind controlled machine was blown up. So I guess you maybe shooting Crunch with the bazooka made him snap out of it for a little bit. I don't know, but that's what happens in this. And I've actually never knew this happened. I wasn't even spoiled on this until I beat this game just now. Because I never 100%ed games as a kid. I just beat them like, I'm fucking done. So I always wondered why he became friends with Crash in the later series. Anyway, the game is done. Time to review this hunk of... I actually thought it was alright. I think the best way to start this off, talking about the story. After Cortex failing again, Aku gets pissed. And they somehow come up with an idea that they need 4 masks, called the Elementals, to beat Crash. And you have to stop them. That's pretty much it. Honestly, it works fine. There's not really much story in the other Crash games in the first place, so this works out. You do get cutscenes here and then, where the masks just kind of trash talk you, but the cutscenes kind of make them go from intimidating to just kind of funny. Like, they're not really scary. They seem more terrifying in the beta that was found a couple years ago. Like, them just floating there, they look so intimidating here, but in the game, they're just kind of like...
The Crash Bandicoot, eh? Oh, I've heard so much about you.
Crunch is also here, who's being mind-controlled by Cortex. And I kind of like him. To me, he just feels like the Knuckles of this game. Honestly, that's pretty much it for the story. There's not much going on, but it's a platformer, so it's like, you don't really need more. Let's talk about the gameplay, which is kinda... I think controlling Crash, for the most part, is fine. He definitely feels different than the games before this, but it's not too terrible. The worst that happens is that sometimes it feels slippery, sometimes it feels sticky. But for most of the gameplay, you're pretty just, it's Crash. I think a big problem though is the power-ups you get. Well, some of them. A lot of the power-ups are downright useless, and then other times they break the game. Starting in order, the sneak shoes. Why did you make these? I think I used them one other time, but that's it. I've never used them. Since we're looking at a bonus stage right now, why do the nitros count towards the max total? Like, that makes no sense. Like, you're always gonna leave the bonus stage feeling incomplete because you didn't break the nitro crates, because you cannot do that. Holy moly, the double jump. Honestly, I don't even think I used it that much looking at this. I just used it when I was walking down a path and I was bored, or I had to jump up to get a box that was really high. Other than needing it for getting a box that's really high or confirming where you're gonna land, I don't think it was required that much for a lot of the jumps. There's nothing really else to say. Like, you jumped twice. What else do you want from me? Here is the super belly flop, the other power Coco can use, which I didn't realize she could use until now because this was hidden away and it's not in a boss. I don't know why this is hidden away, but it is. All it does is make your belly flop AoE bigger. That's it. The game is now destroyed. You have to use this power up a couple times in the game to get stuff, but other than that, you will never miss a jump with this. You are just in the air for such a long time because you just glide now. It's such a strong power up and completely breaks the game. You can do some wild stuff with this. A rocket launcher. Also completely game breaking, because anytime you see an enemy that's doing something that you don't want to deal with up ahead, you shoot him. The speed shoes. You run. You push a button to run. That's it. This is also the only other power-up Coco gets. This is pretty much required for the time trials, which you have to do after you beat the game in order to get the special levels. So you basically have to race through each level again. Now let me explain the time trials real quick, as there's one going on in the background real quick. So you just have to beat a time set by the developers, and every time you hit one of these yellow blocks, like say that 2 block that was just hit, it stops time for that amount. And you essentially just have to get through the level and beat the staff's time that they set in the game, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to do. If you want to get all the harder ranks, it's really hard to do, but I'm not really doing that. You just need any relic to get to the stages, so whatever. I feel like this should be optional and not required, because that's what time trials in games essentially are. Like in a racing game, you're essentially just doing it over and over again for the best time, and that's essentially what it should be. It shouldn't be required. Let's talk about the levels now. Honestly, a lot of these platforming levels are amazing. They're outstanding, and I really like the themes and designs that went into them. I think they're really high quality, but that's just a majority of them. There are quite a few that I absolutely hated, that I felt like were rushed or just not good, but that's pretty much it. Also, I like what they attempted with the themings of the level. Like, let's use the water mask world, for example. Pretty much every level here is based off water in some way, shape, or form, and that's neat. The fire level tried this, but I think there was like 1 or 2 levels where it just kind of went away. But I thought those were neat. The first world and the last world did not have that, but it was a good attempt. That's pretty much it for the gameplay. I might forget the vehicles. I counted. There are 22 instances of you using a vehicle in the levels, and there's 17 instances of you platforming. Why is there more vehicles? I understand the previous game had vehicles as well, but like it wasn't more. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the vehicle levels weren't that terrible. There were some that were truly, truly horrible, but the issue is you just get so sick of them, it sours the experience when you do it again. Like, by the time I got to the 5th ball level, I'm like, oh my god, I just want to play the game. I want to jump around as Crash and break the boxes. Also, these levels are the only levels where these old bosses appear from the series. They are pretty much just joke characters, but I think this is one cool thing they have, is that they actually try and stop you in these levels. It would have been awesome if they were also included in the platforming levels, but they're not. They're kind of just here, and they're kind of just like a joke. They're like easily passable most of the time. That's pretty much it for the gameplay. It's good half the time, alright sometimes, and pretty bad a bunch of other times. So to me, it's pretty alright. The music and sound in this game is amazing, if you can even hear it half the time. The sound mixing is absolutely terrible. You hear so much things that are louder than they should be, and then in the cutscenes, some of the characters are quiet, and you're just putting your ear up to the TV going like, what are they saying? But if you are actually able to listen to the music, you're in for a treat. Even with all the game's faults, I still think this is a good Crash game. I know a lot of people don't think that, but I really do. I think this is a good enough Crash game. Would I recommend this to a person who plays video games? No. Would I recommend this to a person who likes Crash Bandicoot? Absolutely. Looking at it now though, I would not recommend playing the GameCube game, as I thought this was the best version. This is actually the worst version, or one of the worst versions. The Xbox version is better. The game looks visually good in a lot of the levels where it looks subpar on the GameCube version, and the sound mixing doesn't even seem to be an issue there. Like, it all sounds fine from the sounds of it. It does look a little bit too dark in some places, but that's really it. Apparently the PS2 Greatest Hits version is also pretty good. It's not as good as the Xbox one, but it's still better than the GameCube one. The original PS2 version, though, is on par with the GameCube one, so don't get that one either. I had the GameCube version of this game, but it's lost to time. And if I see a copy for the original Xbox in the wild at some retro game store that's probably overpriced to hell, I would probably pick it up and never play it again because of this car level.